I want to talk about the time it takes to recover after you've done a convention or some kind of event. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I bounce right back. Doesn't take any time at all. Other times it'll take me a week just to get my shit together. And this is really fresh in my mind because I just came back from the Baltimore Convention and it didn't go great. Not gonna lie. Not the convention itself, the recovery. The recovery did not go great at all. So I worked up until late Thursday night before the convention, which no idea why I did this. That's not normally a thing that I would do. I would normally take off that Thursday, get ready, pack, do everything I need to do, make sure my drawings are done. That is not how this went. I don't know if it's because we're so close to Baltimore and I thought that maybe it wouldn't, I don't know, it wouldn't take as much time to get ready because I have to drive, which I feel like it takes more time because now I have to drive there. So I'm bringing more shit than I would if I was flying. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I worked up until late Thursday night and had to scramble to get packed and then set up on Friday and worked my ass off all weekend. I did 3 big tattoos, a big one every day, entered them in tattoo of the day, and actually won second place on Saturday, which was awesome. And then Sunday night, we got out of there really late, and I fucking crashed after that. I got so sick, you guys. It took me a couple days, and then I started feeling it, and I got sicker by the second, and it took me out for the entire fucking week. And I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, I got sick. I must have picked it up from somebody at the convention. A couple other people I knew got sick as well. And I don't really get sick though. Like it doesn't, I should be knocking on wood here somewhere, but I'm not a person that's like sick all the time. I maybe get sick like once a year, if that. And I feel like this last year I've gotten sick a lot more. So fast forward to this past weekend and we did a fundraiser flash day and it was a huge success. We worked really hard planning it and preparing for it. And it was just a really long day of tattooing and running around and stressing and organizing and coordinating and everything and making sure that everyone else stayed busy and that we raised as much money as possible. And again, crashed the fuck out afterwards. But this time I was starting to wonder, is this the pattern? Because one day of a flash day, like that shouldn't be something that takes me out. Like it's not even, yes, it's stressful. Yes, it's like, it's kind of chaotic. There's a lot of people in and out all day, but it's just one day. And it's not even like we worked like 12 hours or anything. We just did like a normal day from, we started at 10 and we were done by 6. So like not super stressful, but I'm starting to think like, okay, is there a pattern to this? What's going on? Why am I getting so burnt out after every event that I'm doing? So I wanted to try and analyze what's going on and figure it out and see if this is something that I could fix and prepare for better next time. So number one, I'm thinking the plan. The plan was fucked from the beginning. So there's planning for the event, planning to go to the convention or do the fundraiser or whatever you're doing and making sure that you're prepared for it and you're ready for the day of. But then there's planning for the day after the event and what you're going to do after it's all said and done. So last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago, I started doing 75 hard, which if you haven't heard of this before, it's 75 days straight of this list of tasks. So it's 45-minute workout, 45-minute outdoor workout, read 10 pages, follow a diet, no cheat meals, drink a gallon of water, and take a progress picture. So you have to do this every day for 75 days. If you fuck up, if you miss something, you have to start over and go back to the beginning. And the thing that I noticed when I was doing this, which by the way, it took me 267 days to complete 75 days straight without fucking up. And when I tell you that was like the toughest year ever, like I would fail and then the next day just get started again just because I wanted it so badly. It's like it's more than a diet, it's like a mental toughness thing. And I really wanted the reward from it. So I really wanted to do it and complete it and just feel that accomplishment of doing it. So I would fail and I'd like get right back up and go after it again. But what I was noticing was every time I failed, it was after the thing that I thought would fail me. So I was doing a lot of conventions that year, and I was so worried that I was going to go to a convention and I was going to end up fucking something up. I wasn't going to be able to get my food in or not drink enough water or whatever. So I was like fully prepared, even over prepared for the conventions. I would meal prep. Even if I was traveling, I would go to the grocery store, plan all my meals, get them ready, and make sure I wasn't going to fuck it up. I didn't plan for the day after. So when I came back, there's no food in the fridge. There's no water. Like, I didn't figure out when I was going to be working out. And especially if I was traveling that day. So flying from, one airport to the other and then driving. When am I going to work out? When am I going to do my outdoor workout? Because they have to be like 3 hours apart. So you really have to kind of plan your day. And so I wouldn't plan for those days after the event. And that's what would fuck me up every single fucking time. So thinking about the plan for the convention, I didn't plan the day before, and I definitely didn't plan the day after. So I get back from Baltimore and I'm trying to do work on Monday because Monday is normally like my admin day, and what I do things like this, like record the podcast or write for, emails or marketing or whatever. That's when I do all that stuff. And it didn't occur to me that I might need a minute before I jump right back into work on Monday. So of course I crashed looking back, Had I thought of that and planned for it, I could have blocked off a couple days for me to recover, and knowing exactly what I need to recover would probably also be helpful. So what works for me and what works for you or other people is going to be totally different. Everybody's different. Some people like to be completely alone and not socialize at all. And other people want to go out and have fun. And that's how they recharge and relax. But whatever that is for you, knowing that thing that's going to give you the rest and the recharge and help you to recover afterwards is going to be super helpful. Because if you can plan for that, you can mark it off on your day. You can even schedule it. Had I thought about this ahead of time, maybe I would have scheduled a massage for that Monday after the convention. Like, that would have been fucking great. Would have loved that. But no, I decided to work instead. So knowing what makes it better for you or what makes it worse for you. So if you know that you're going to be so fucking burnt out that you're not going to be able to make decisions, you're not going to be able to like go right back into like, okay, I got to make dinner and decide what we're doing for this and like, make business decisions and stuff on Monday. Like, don't do it. Don't put that on your plate. Completely block the day off. You're not doing these things that are going to further drain you. And you're going to do things that are going to re-energize you. Maybe you just need to quiet your mind. Something that I've been looking into lately, it's not like a new concept to me, meditation, but it's new as in I've never tried it for more than a minute. So I have a hard time sitting still. I have a hard time quieting my thoughts and just relaxing and meditating like that. It's like absolute fucking torture for me. So it's something I'm working on. It's something that I think is going to be really useful for me in the future. Not quite there yet. Still learning, but I really am trying to figure out how to quiet my thoughts, how to calm myself in stressful situations, and how to just feel more balanced in general. This might not be for you, but it might also be the thing that you're lacking as well, and maybe something that you can try out in the future. There's a good chance that I am just operating on burnout also, which is a common theme for me. I know I've talked about it before on the podcast, but just trying to push through burnout is only prolonging the burnout. If you can just rest and get back to it, everything is so much better. And I learned this lesson over and over again. Maybe someday it will stick, but I have to first be aware of it right before I can learn the lesson. But I know it's just like when you go to the gym or if you're an athlete or anything, play a sport and you hurt yourself and you're like, I could take the time off, or take a week off and let this rest and get back to it next week. But your brain is like, no, like the FOMO, and you want to get back to it and you don't want to take any time off and you're just going to push through it. And you end up hurting yourself more and you end up prolonging that healing. And instead of taking a week off, now you have to take a month off because now you've really fucked yourself up. It's no different with burnout. If you're just pushing through, then you're going to end up hurting yourself in the future and you're going to end up taking longer to recover from it. So after the Baltimore Convention, we did the flash day and I wasn't even fully recovered yet. So it was 2 weeks in between, which sounds on paper like enough time. But had I scheduled the convention and then scheduled my time to recover and then the flash day, it probably would have been a very different experience. But instead, I pushed through, worked all week, got really super sick. So I took 2 days off from being while I was sick, which isn't really recovery. I was forced to stay home because I literally couldn't get out of bed. But as soon as I felt better, I jumped right back in, went right back to work. And then the flash day happened and I crashed again. So having those back-to-back things and just pushing myself through it definitely did no favors for me. So if you know how long you need to recover, then you can block off that exact time. So I'm starting to realize I think I need like 2 days after a convention to fully recover from it. And because I've taken off 1 day in the past and I just don't think it's enough. I think I need at least 2, maybe even 3 to recover. And if I know that ahead of time, I can look at my schedule, see that I'm going out of town or I'm going to do this convention or whatever event, and then block off the extra days that I need to recover so that when I get back to work, I'm not like pushing through any kind of burnout or pushing through when I should be resting. And then once I have that plan in place and once I have that on my schedule, not skipping it, because I know how I am. Maybe you're this way too, but I will bargain with myself and I'll squeeze stuff in and maybe I'll just work on this a little bit. I'm going to be home anyway. I have nothing better to do. And I convince myself to add these little work things in, or I'm just going to draw for fun, right? Who draws for fun? I mean, let's be honest. I try, but every time I draw something in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I could make this a tattoo or I can make this a sticker. I'm not doing it for fun. It's always for work. And I need to just like accept that and just take the day and stop trying to squeeze shit in there and stop bargaining with myself. And if the plan, whatever your plan is, if you have this convention and then you have an event afterwards and it's not happening and it's too much, fucking say so. Fuck the plan. Don't push through and kill yourself. None of the work that you're doing is life or death. I promise you that. And if you have appointments on your schedule and it's going to be too much and you're looking ahead and you're like, oh, fuck, why did I do this to myself? Move them. No, I mean, yes, people can get upset when you have to reschedule them, but every single time I'm worried that someone's going to be upset or, they're going to want their deposit back or they're mad at me or whatever because I want to reschedule them, it doesn't happen. Every single time they're like totally cool. They're like, oh my God, just take care of you. Like this can wait. It's not that important. If you have the right clients that you're attracting, you're going to have these people that are going to be understanding and they're going to be cool and they're going to be like, no problem. Let's find another day. Nothing's life or death. You can reschedule stuff. You can put stuff off. If it's not going to work out, just say so and just move things and change it. The only thing that's actually life or death is your stress, because stress will actually kill you. And pushing through burnout is not going to be great for your stress levels. Stop prioritizing the wrong things. Everything is not a big fucking deal. Like the world is not going to end. I used to be this person where every little thing that didn't go according to plan or didn't go the way I expected it to, I would fall apart. I would lose my mind. It was the end of the world. Like I couldn't figure out like how to come back from it. Maybe it was my age or, maybe I just grew out of it or just my tolerance is lower for it, back then. But I think I've seen enough shit at this point where it worked out. Like I've been through it and seen the other side of it, and literally nothing is that big of a deal. So for the flash event, I was supposed to be here at 8 a.m. and we had the Safe Home people, the charity we were working with, they were going to be here at 8:30. My daughter was supposed to come help throughout the day and make stencils and like get people checked in and stuff. She woke up sick, so she couldn't come. I had to help her out in the morning. I was running way behind. I ended up like not even getting here till 9:15. And old me would have freaked the fuck out and been like, oh my God, everything is going to be awful. I'm not going to get there on time. The whole day is ruined. Like, we're going to get a late start. And keep in mind, I didn't even finish my flash. So I did 2 sheets the night before, and I had like 2 more sheets that I wanted to like finish the outlines for. So in my head was all of this to-do list that I wasn't going to be able to do, and everything was starting to fall apart. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares? If we start 15 minutes late, who gives a fuck? I just contacted Safe Home and said, hey, not going to get there until 9. No problem. They don't even care. They probably didn't even want to be here at 8:30 anyway. Who wants to fucking get up that early? So not a big deal. I get to the shop. I finished up my flash designs. I literally finished outlining them right as the first people were coming to check in. And it was fine. Like, nothing fell apart. And I didn't lose my shit. And I was just like, you know what? If I only get 2 sheets done, I only get 2 sheets done. These people are not going to fucking die if I don't sit here and draw, 5 images on a page. Like, this is not that big of a fucking deal here. So I just moved on from it. And my daughter wasn't there to help. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll be the one that does the stencils, and I'll get people checked in if I have to, until we get to the point where I need to jump in and start helping out with the tattoos. And it was fine. We had just enough people to keep all the artists busy. I jumped in at the end of the day and did a few tattoos, but they were fine. I would rather they make money anyway. So it was never about me. It was about raising money for charity and, letting the artists make some money too. And whatever, it didn't go according to plan. Who cares? Everything was totally fine, and it worked out perfectly, and it was a huge success. And if I had been prioritizing all of these things that didn't fucking matter, my attitude would have sucked all day. I would have had everybody else in the shop stressed out. The clients would have been feeling that. It would have ruined the day. So I was able to just not care about any of that, and it was totally awesome. And I know I already mentioned planning ahead, but really analyzing my schedule, I think is going to be really important going forward, because even things like vacations, how many times have you been on a vacation and then come back and been like, oh my God, I need a vacation from my vacation, because you just packed your days full of stuff and you didn't actually have any time relaxing. If you vacation like I do anyway, I have to do and see everything there is out there, because I'm probably never coming back to this place. So I want to do it all. So I pack my days full, and then when I come home, I'm like exhausted, and I need time to restore from that. So planning extra days off when you come back from something like a vacation, and just planning ahead for that, or planning for how you're going to compensate for those days off. Maybe you're going to run a promotion for merch. Like, I have a lot of stickers and prints and stuff on my Etsy. So if I'm going to be off for a week and I know that ahead of time, I can plan out social media posts, or I can run an ad or something, so that I can be making a little bit of extra money to make up for the days that I'm taking off. I mean, obviously it's not going to be as much as if I was tattooing, but something is better than nothing for sure. And just making sure that my schedule before as well as after is completely clear, so that I'm not coming back and going right back into work. And besides just having your recovery days off, looking at what are you coming back to. So there's been plenty of times where I've come back from a convention or some kind of trip, and I did give myself a couple of days buffer where I could do whatever before I went back to the shop. But then the next 3 or 4 days of work are these super intense, really difficult pieces that require a lot of drawing. And I'm always like, why the fuck did I do this to myself? This does not feel okay. Like, I need to ease myself back into it. So maybe looking at the schedule and saying, okay, I'm coming back from this really intense trip. So maybe the tattoos that I put on this week of my schedule should be easier, or maybe they're just pre-drawn tattoos or continuations, or something that's not going to require a whole lot of effort and time for drawing or planning or preparing or anything like that. And then just accept that you're not a fucking superhero, and get over your ego and your age, and get over yourself. Missy, talking to you, talking to myself here. But for real, you can't do it all. You can't be everything to everyone all of the time. Sometimes you just have to stop, take a minute, and take care of yourself, because you're not going to be able to do anything going forward if you don't give yourself that time to recover and relax and reset.